Welcome back. Welcome back to SQL with Ravi Martha. So I'm starting a new series that is SQL Server tutorial series for beginners. So in this, I'll start from the scratch with SQL, and I'll use SQL Server to demonstrate the examples. And people are supporting me by subscribing my channel. If you have already subscribed, please press the bell icon for notifications. If you are not subscribed, just please subscribe and press the bell icon for notifications. Below are my details. Moving on, we will discuss about how the data is being stored initial days, and after that we'll look at the SQL overview. This is part one of this series. So here I have listed the history of data storage. So in the initial days, the data is being stored as files. That is called a file system. So the data was stored in the files format. We create a directory, and inside it we'll place the files, usually stored on the hard disk drive. There are some drawbacks with the file system because it's less efficient. There is data redundancy, inconsistency, and it's tough to isolate the data. There are atomicity issues, data security issues, and dependency with other application programs. When we move a file from one place to other, there will be some issues in the application. Files are difficult to access. Basically, once you open the file, it cannot be accessed with any other person. So there are different types of issues with file system. After that, during 1960, they came up with the first DBMS system, which is designed by Charles Bachman in 1960. In DBMS, also there are a couple of drawbacks. So it will not support client-server architecture. There are no relationship between the tables. No normalization is not there. There is no security for data manipulation, especially, and it supports only single user. FoxPro is one of the examples of the DBMS. There are different types of DBMS actually: hierarchical databases, network databases, relational databases, which is RDBMS, object-oriented databases, graph databases, ER, document databases, and NoSQL databases. This is the latest version. Let's discuss about the relational database. So the next one is RDBMS, which is nothing but a advanced version of a DBMS. In RDBMS, the data will be stored in the format tables, tabular format, rows and columns. CORD introduced IBM's Information Management System in 1970. RDBMS also started during 1970s. RDBMS is more efficient, and there are a couple of reasons for it, and I have listed a couple of them here. In this, the data will be stored in the tabular format. Relations can be created, normalization can be applied, asset properties are satisfied, and easy to access the data. It supports client-server architecture, reduces the data redundancy, and provides multi-level security. The logging can be done at OS level, that is operating system level, and the respective object level and the database level. There are different flavors of this RDBMS, that is Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL, DB2, and Sybase, etc. Next, we'll see a couple of differences between the file and DBMS. So file system is a collection of programs that store and manipulate the data files in the computer hard disk. DBMS is a collection of programs that enable to create and maintain the database. File system has more redundancy. DBMS has less redundancy. File system does not provide more flexibility in accessing the data, whereas DBMS provides more flexibility. File system does not support data consistency. DBMS provides more consistency through normalization. Here are the couple of other differences between the DBMS and RDBMS. So in DBMS, the relations cannot be defined, and the data will be stored in terms of tables of formats and no relationship between them. But in our DBMS, we can define the relationship. DBMS does not support client server architecture, but RDBMS supports it. DBMS does not impose any constraints or security with respect to the data manipulation, whereas RDBMS has that flexibility. DBMS supports single user, RDBMS supports multi-user. DBMS requires some low software and hardware, whereas RDBMS requires high software and hardware. DBMS has no or less security of data. RDBMS has multi-level security of the data. The auditing can be done at multiple levels. DBMS supports less number of CORD rules, and DBMS example FoxPro. For RDBMS, Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL, DB2, Sybase, etc. So let's discuss about SQL. So what is SQL? So SQL stands for Structured Query Language, which is also called as SQL. So initially SQL was called as SQL, Structured English Query Language, but the name was changed to from SQL to SQL because of some trademark conflict with a UK-based engineering company. So SQL became a standard of American National Standards Institute (ANSI) in 1986, and also it attained International Organization for Standardization (ISO) certification in 1987. SQL is a standard language to communicate with relational databases. There are different flavors of databases here, like Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL, DB2, Sybase, etc. So when we communicate with the different people, we use a language, example English, Hindi, or Swedish, German, etc. So people can understand that language and they can respond accordingly. Similarly, these kind of relational databases will understand structured query language, which is SQL. They respond based on your commands. SQL is a declarative language, whereas PLSQL, the advanced version of SQL, is a procedure language. Next, the next one is, what is the use of SQL? Using SQL, the standard language to communicate with the relational databases. So we can create database objects, create, alter, drop, delete the database objects like tables, views, indexes, partitions, functions, and stored procedures, jobs, etc. So many other objects also still there, which you can create, alter, destroy. The next one, we can create tables, insert data, retrieve the data, update the data, delete the data. So these are the operations we can, or the manipulation we can do on the tables. SQL can also, we can set the permissions on the tables, procedures, views, and we can do other operations on the database objects. And there are various levels where we can restrict the permissions in SQL. Who should learn SQL? The SQL is needed for each and every software engineer. There are three roles. Database developer, so who can design, deploy database table structures, functions, stored procedures. They can create forms, reports, and queries, and deploy. Next role comes to be database testers. Database testers will test the data integrity. They will verify whether the data manipulations are happening correctly or not, like the insertion of data, updations, and deletions. And also they will compare the data between the source and target, whether it's the count is matching or the data, etc. Then comes the third role, which is database administrators. So if you're working on Microsoft SQL Server, you will become a Microsoft SQL DBE. If you're using Oracle, you can become a Oracle database administrator. You can learn and you can switch to this particular role. So we can decide on which role we want to go ahead and perform. DBS also will maintain the databases, and they will do the patching, rebuilding, stuff like that. Deploying the builds, they will write the documentation or the operating manual. So these are the three roles overall. Here is the summary of what we discussed. SQL stands for structured query language, and these are the different flavors of databases. What SQL can do? SQL can create, alter, and drop objects. Initially, SQL was called as SQL. It was changed to SQL because of a trademark conflict. When it comes to the data storage, initially the data was stored as files, and the directories inside it, the files are present. These files are stored on the hard disk drives. Later on, the DBMS developed during 1960s. After that, relational database management system came in during 1970. So in the next video, we will discuss about the installation of SQL Server, introduction of SQL Server Management Studio, which is called SSMS. So this belongs to Microsoft. So let's do all our exercises or the examples, demonstrations on Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. This is basically a client tool. If you're working on MySQL, you may be installing MySQL Workbench. Currently, I'm working on Microsoft SQL Server, so I'm installing SQL Server Management Studio. So that's it for today. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and please do subscribe to my channel, and please press the bell icon. And here is my email ID. If you need any help, please drop an email, and if you have any SQL related queries, feel free to drop an email so that I can respond on that. I can upload a text version of this video onto this blog, and you can search with my channel name SQL with Ravi Martha, and you can subscribe. Thank you very much. Have a great day.